last two games we haven't necessarily got off to the starts that we would like, but I think you got to give all the credit to the two teams we've played have come out and played extremely well early. I thought Loyola came out and was playing really well. I thought LaSalle came out and really controlled the pace on us. Kind of played different than what we'd been seeing on film. And we kind of got caught up into their pace and kind of lull in the game. The game was just kind of going slow, and we kind of got caught up into that. And really proud of our team in the fact that we kind of were able to change gears eventually and hang in there after taking, again, another team's really good shot earlier. I thought that, early, and I thought they played well. For most of the night, it just seemed like the offense was a struggle. But you look up and we score 84 points. But it felt like it was a struggle. Defensively, I thought we were good most of the night. The numbers say it, and they're a good offensive team. But we don't have success tonight if it's not for a performance like Francis Okoro. When things, maybe shots aren't going down, things aren't going your way, you have to have somebody do something special effort-wise, something special on things that you can control when the shots aren't going down. And he did that. If we don't have those 20 rebounds, probably, it'd been a lot closer, and who knows. Sincere Parker came in the game and played well again, scoring the basketball. And that's what's hopefully going to help our team is we've got a few options off the bench that have been playing better when maybe some guys are not playing their best within a given time of a game. And just really happy with that. It's kind of like last two games, just kind of hung in there. Next thing you know, we win by 17, 18, 19. And, it just didn't feel like that. It felt like a struggle out there today, especially on the offensive end.
You really needed those guys first half when I think it was Gibson, Javante, Yuri. They were all bottled up offensively.
Yeah, we were very stagnant, and we were taking a lot of quick shots, some things we haven't been doing of lately. I thought we'd gotten away from that. Especially, we talk a lot about time and score within a game. We were really struggling early, and you don't score for 3, 4, 5 possessions, whatever it is. You need to make 4, 5, 6 passes, and we're trying to get them to. And guys were, and they were open, but you still need to try to get the ball in the paint. But we made some runs, some spurts. Especially in the second half. I thought it was big that we at least went in the locker room up 1. I thought that was big, just to have the lead. Wasn't much, but at least we had the lead after how we played. I think hopefully made them feel pretty good. That's what I told them at halftime. Guys, you're up 1, and we could be sitting here down 15 or 10. Let's celebrate that for a second here, and let's move on because it was a struggle. It was a struggle first half.
That block by Okoro was really big, running 13-minute mark in the second half. You guys really took off after that.
Yeah, our defense started creating some offense in the second half. It led, to some layups, to some dunks, to a Sincere Parker 3, and that's what allowed the score to go from 8, 9, 10 to 15, 16, 17 real quick, were some of the defensive stops. And that's what we've been looking for. We're a team that doesn't turn people over a lot. You can look at that. But when we do, that makes us a whole lot better team because we usually can convert. We usually can convert those turnovers to points. It was, again, Francis Okoro, I can't say enough about him.
Coach, you said you guys struggled early, finished strong. Kind of seems like that reflects the entire season. You guys struggled a bit early. You've strung together some wins now. How do you feel about the momentum of this team moving forward now that you've got a couple wins under your belt?
Well, I like where we're at. I know we still have a whole lot better basketball in us. I think we're seeing some things we didn't see earlier in the season. We're still pretty banged up. We're still a pretty banged up team. Some things that we don't need to make. Nobody cares, but there's a lot of things going on people don't know that we're just trying to get through with 2 or 3 crucial players. They're able to play, but it's not what they need to be, like what they're capable of. So hopefully this week will help a little bit. We don't play till next Friday or till Friday. But yeah, there's still a lot of basketball left. We told our team, no question, be excited you won the game. Sometimes you've got to win it ugly. It doesn't matter. You just got to figure it out sometimes. But let's be humble in victory and know that we can play better, and hopefully there's even better to come. But we know every game's only going to get that much more difficult.
Hey, Travis, when you look at the past 3 games with Javonte Perkins, obviously today he didn't have a huge game.
He played better second half.
Yeah.
Some crucial buckets second half.
Exactly, yeah. So if you put those 3 together, that's a nice little run there, I presume. Can you describe what you're seeing in him offensively?
Yeah, and I think you would agree. He's become a last 3 or 4 a guy that we can go to. Like we're running stuff, do stuff to get him in position to score. Things like, especially when we get in the bonus, we want to try to put him in certain positions because normally he's a good free throw shooter, and normally we're a good free throw shooting team. When you wouldn't have thought it tonight, but yeah, Javonte, he's still not back to 100%. He's going to hopefully get there at some point, but we just kind of been rolling with him. Some days are better than others, but I think he's shown what he's capable of doing. We all know what he's capable of doing, but we've seen some bigger glimpses of it lately, and I don't see any reason he won't keep playing that way. But some games are better than others. But when and it's not necessarily. It's not, and as I'm sitting here even thinking, it's not necessarily it's not Javonte. There may be a game coming up that Javonte scores 8 points, but that means Gibson might have had 20, or Javon might have had this, or Uri did this. So it's not necessarily looking at one guy and say, well, he didn't score this game. Well, it probably means somebody else did, and hopefully that's what can make us a really good basketball team. Sincere Parker. TJ can have a big night. Uri scores 17. So it's not necessarily, and Javonte didn't play great early. I mean, but it's not necessarily that he's not playing well. It's just maybe somebody else is.
With Sincere, how much his basketball maturity has risen from training camp till now?
Sincere is, and I use Sincere as an example to our team in the locker room after the game. First, we celebrated the win. We talked about how good it was, this and that. Talked great to win anyway. Doesn't matter how you get there. We won, but then I recognized Francis, and I said, but on a team that has some decent players on it and some good players, some nights some guys aren't going to play as much as they maybe normally would or have been in the past or whatever reason. But can you still support your teammate and still be positive on the bench and the next day? Because Sincere Parker has. Sincere Parker at this time last year was averaging 35 points a game and playing 40 minutes a game and leading his team to a national tournament in Hutch, and he's playing, and all of a sudden you come and you're not playing as much, and the coach is like criticizing every defensive possession, and you're not used to playing defense. Like, I've never had to play defense before. Well, you're going to have to play defense in order to play on this team, and he has stuck with it. You're talking about a guy that has a smile on his face every single day. My man is one of the most polite, happy-go-lucky guys I've ever been around, and I know he's been gut-wrenched at times because he wants to be out there. He wants to be out there. And there was a big time. My wife even asked me, why did I not put Sincere Parker in second half? True story. And I'm like, everybody has a role. Everybody has a role. His role was to come in the first half of Loyola and get us 13 points. And if we need you the second half, then we were fine. He was great. Do I think he was thinking over there, I had 13. Why didn't he? Maybe. But he didn't care. I mean, he's like, I'm glad we won. But, yeah, my wife asked me that. So I'm like, all right, I hear it from enough people. But everybody's got a role to play. And that role can change within a game. It can change within a game. We're trying to get to the end with more points than the other team, period. And I told the team, guys, if everybody can have Sincere Parker's attitude in life, it will forget about winning basketball games. Then probably good things happen because we got some guys that start and here we are 1, 3, 4, and they're wondering why they're not stuff like everybody's wanting to play. I want everybody just to want to win. That's all I would care about. And he's a good example of that. And it allows you to, when you have that attitude, it allows you to have success. If you have a different perspective, different, approach, then you don't allow yourself to have success. You're holding yourself back. I tell our guys, you're pouting, hoping that I care. All you're doing is hurting yourself. I mean, I don't care if you're pouting. I could care less. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to win a game. If you have an approach that, yeah, I may be a little pissed off I'm not playing, I got no problem with that. But how are you perceived? How are you letting it affect other people around you? If you're letting it affect other people around you, then we got a problem. I know everybody sitting over there wants to play. You know, Larry Hughes didn't play as much tonight. Larry Hughes has been playing amazing, terrific. You know, and that's sports, life in general. Everybody wants to play 40 minutes, and you know, and we're just trying to figure out how to win a game.
Regarding Sincere, he was touted as a three-point shooter, and that was the big thing. But his ability to score at the basket, use his body, is as good as I think seen.
We didn't, even recruiting him, I didn't see that as much as I did first day of practice of probably the European trip, stuff like that. We're like, wow, he's got a ridiculous minute, like really good one-on-one, really good one-on-one. Maybe the best one-on-one player as far as scoring on our team. He can really score just off the dribble, one-on-one pull up to the rim, has a knack. You know, again, it's for him. It's just been a defensive thing. I mean, and you know, he's gotten a lot better at that. And sometimes when you're making shots, you just need to outscore your man. So.
You talk about having a strong defensive game. It seemed like the last 10 minutes or so there were some miscues and stuff that you wanted to kind of accentuate with the guys. But there are some big misses.
Rebounding miscues. It was rebounding. It was not the defense. It was rebounding. You know, we out-rebound them. We're the number one rebounding team in the league. But you wouldn't have, even though we out-rebounded them by 5, I'm not, you know, they get 16 offensive rebounds, and probably 8 of those came under 5 minutes. I know in one possession they had 3. Another possession they had 2. That's what I was upset about. You know, once you get a lead and it gets under 3 or 4 minutes, you're going to get some drives to the basket because you're just trying not to give up 3. At some point, I know the numbers and time, that as long as you don't give up 3s, you're probably in pretty good shape. But we just kept giving up second shots. That you know, I didn't think it was going to beat us, but I just wasn't happy about it because I like to look up here and see that we out-rebounded a team by 10, 12, or 15, not 7.
Yeah, you guys are about 85% defensive rebounding team, about 70% today.
Is that what? See, it's
About 82%
and that's the number that matters. I tell our team and coach all the time, I don't care about any defensive rebounding percentage. It's the number that matters. And we're leading the league in that. That's what that means. How many rebounds do you rebound based on their missed shots? And, you know, anything above 75 is pretty good. Usually 72 to 74 will lead the league. And we take a lot of pride in that. So that number, I didn't know that number yet. It's sitting on my desk right now because I have all that stuff. They calculate it and set it on my desk, all these stats that I like and how we do deflections, stops, paint touches, all these things that I care about. And that's 70% is not good.
Coach, forgive me if this has been talked about before, but it seems like in the past couple of games, since Yuri sat that game out against George Washington, you've seen guys like Javonte, Sincere, Gibson find more offensive initiation and become more creative in the way they're playing, perhaps. Is that something that's, you know, even now Yuri's back, granted he had a double-double tonight,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Have you seen that kind of translate to now you have Yuri creating and those guys creating that kind of offense?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, you're kind of the first person brought that up. We saw some things in that game that we hadn't seen that I liked, that we hadn't really tried, that we had to get certain guys in certain positions. I'm like, whoa, that kind of is working. And now we've started even doing that with Yuri out there, with Gibson, with Javonte, some things we saw in that game where they normally don't handle the ball a whole lot. And so, yeah, I'd say there were some things in that game, if that's what you're asking, that we saw that we're implementing a little bit to put those guys in some positions besides just Yuri having to get them shots all the time. It puts them in position to get their own shot a little bit. So, yeah, there was some things coming out of that we took that might not have seen, you know, because we obviously let Yuri handle the ball all the time.
Coach, how important is it for you guys to be on the single digits as far as turnovers go?
It's essential. This team right here was second in the league at turning people over. They are averaging turning their opponents over 15 times a game. And our guys probably heard that from me 1,000 times in the last 2 days, because I thought that would be a big key offensively. I didn't anticipate not really. I keep saying not being able to score. We scored 84 points, but I was worried. I thought if we didn't turn it over, we'd run a little bit better, have better offense. But it was a point of emphasis because they do a good job of turning you over. They're a physical team, really physical team. Everybody good? Thank you. Thank you.
All right, questions for Francis and Sincere? Anything in particular that got you going today with the rebounds? I mean, you were grabbing them from the get-go.
It's gotta be. That's what I do. And coach talked to me about it. Like, hey, you gotta go back to you and don't worry about nothing else. I know a lot of stuff going on. You just gotta be you. And my mindset was, I gotta go get every rebound, And today, that happened. So I gotta keep doing that.
And you had said yesterday that one of your emphasis moving forward was to finish more on the offensive rebounds. You were really effective on that.
Yeah.
First half.
Yeah, that started with practice. Since last week, after I had a meeting with coach, I had some games where I have had 7, 8 offensive rebound, and coach was like, "You got to go back to that guy." And I know I got to go back to it. It comes with motor, and today I was just like, I got to be Francis. Yeah.
Question for the both of you. Before the season started, you guys obviously had so much hype around this team, and rightfully so. The talent you guys have is off the charts. But you guys haven't quite lived up to those expectations as of late. Now you string together a couple of wins. Do you feel like this team is finally getting back to the identity you guys had to start the year? And that potential you guys maybe had?
Yeah, for sure. I know at the beginning of the season, we had a lot of different personalities. A lot of people come from different places, and now as the season just starts to go on, we're all starting to gel together. And one thing we always told ourselves in the beginning of the season is that we didn't want to be playing our best ball as soon as the season started. We were expecting to start playing our best ball as the season got deeper and conference started to come and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now that you guys are playing your best ball, what's the potential of this team, especially when you're rebounding the ball like you did today?
Like he talked about understanding our identity. In the beginning of the season, we're trying to figure ourselves out. Now we understand that, hey, this playing defense is what wins us the game. Not turning the ball over is what wins us the game, and also playing for each other. We all think about everybody when we're playing. Hey, it might not be a night tonight. How we going to help this person that's scoring to get more bucket? But everybody got to play defense. We just have to come into the game understanding what makes us win, and that is defense. Everybody got to be locked in, understand the scout reports, and just come out here and execute.
How sincere, how hard has it been for you from last year to this point to now to adjust to your new role with this team as being a bench player and role player? And I know last year you were more minutes guy and scoring a lot.
It's definitely kind of, I wouldn't say it's been a tough transition, but it's definitely taking some getting used to. You have guys like Yuri Collins. He's passing it to everybody. I got good shooters like Gibson, good players like Perkins. We have a lot of good pieces on our team. So, everybody does different things. Some nights it might be me, some nights it might be someone else. So I just have to understand that a little bit more. Just play my role, let the game come to me. Really.
Does it help you, Sincere, to get offensively to start your game, maybe attacking the basket a little bit more, as opposed to shooting threes right out of the box, or is it just a matter of what you get from the defense?
I feel like it was more just confidence, just seeing the ball go through a little bit more at the next level, Junior college, everybody's not, things aren't as, more important as they are now, you can't just do things. You actually have to be, more efficient instead of just, doing everything by yourself with better players.
Coach, talk about your defensive play. How big of a step do you think you've made so far this season defensively?
I feel like I definitely took a stride, and still trying to get better at it, But I feel like from the beginning of the year till now, it's definitely improved.
And it seems every game you show a new move you have. There was kind of that a little in and out dribble you had in the paint early in the first half, kind of opened you up. Have St. Louis fans seen even half of your bag of moves?
No, I don't think so. I think it really just more of a reaction thing with me. So you never know what I'll do coming down. Just really whatever to get me open or get me to my spots.
Sir, you used the word confidence a minute ago. Are you a more confident player right now than you were at points in this season? Has some of this recent play brought the confidence back out?
Yeah, definitely. When you're playing with the best point guard in the country, it's not hard. When he passed me the ball, I just know I have to make the shot for him just because I want him to have the assist just as much as he wanted me to hit the shot. So I feel like and that's for everybody, not just him, but when they pass me the ball, it just let me know that they had confidence in me.
Perhaps you drew 6 fouls today, got the line 4 times. Obviously, Stu asked you earlier about how much you want to be dangerous when you get those offensive rebounds. How is your kind of offensive game progressing across the season? Are you attacking the rim at a rate you really like?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, me and Coach had a talk, and he told me he want me to touch the ball. He want me to be a little bit more aggressive. And during this time of the year, they know how important I could be on the team, and he wants me to be that guy. And even in practice, he told them give me the ball. So just me understanding my coach has confidence in me and my teammate has confidence in me is just for me to deliver.